I was like, what? When the mind stopped practicing the ukulele. Waste of talent if you ask me, but...
Finally, we're here.
Oh.
The nightmare must be here somewhere.
This week in gaming, the Nintendo DSi shop shutting down, Starcraft Remastered has been announced, and you'd best not buy the original game now or you'll regret it. The Harvest Moon games from the PlayStation 2 are coming to the PlayStation 4. Psyonix is contemplating bringing Rocket League to the Nintendo Switch, but we have nothing down in stone. Destiny 2 has been unveiled, and it has been confirmed for a PC release. PSP emulator PPSSPP has been updated to version 1.4, which brings some performance improvements, support for additional shaders and assorted bug fixes, and peripheral manufacturer Mad Catz is fresh out of business. This is 1RBC Gaming Weekly. Also, as a quick heads up, there will not be an episode next week. Enjoy what we have now, and see you in a fortnight. First off, Nintendo challenged dairy farmers to play this absurd Switch minigame about milking cows. Guess who won? Anyway, on to more serious news regarding the shutdown of the Nintendo DSi shop. What you should know is that this digital marketplace for Nintendo games, one that opened back in 2009, enabled players to buy games for their Nintendo handhelds digitally. Nintendo shut it down on March 31st, 2017. It's no longer possible to purchase DSi games digitally. If you have bought them digitally, you can still re-download them at current, but that's not going to last forever, so you should nab your games while you still can.
And Nintendo grabbed victory by the udder. Even the farmers had fun. No crying over spilled milk here. For more information, please visit nintendo.com/switch.
While we're talking about shutdowns, after nearly 12 years online, MMO Club Penguin has been shut down. In case you've not heard of it, what you should know is that it was an MMO aimed at kids. It's more famous online for people doing and saying ridiculous things in order to get banned from it. Originally opened in October of 2005, the game was purchased by Disney in 2007 for $350 million. There were over 200 million users registered to play the game over its 11 years online. In the game's last moments, players discovered that they could finally tip the iceberg. Disney has launched a new game, Club Penguin Island, an Android/iOS game that, from what I've heard, has been doing a great job at nickel and diming players while stripping away everything that made the original game special. I can't help but feel sorry for Club Penguin in spite of having never played it. It's just awful to see a game born and loved and then purchased, shut down, and resurrected in between the pages of an earnings report. Were you a Club Penguin player? If so, have you moved on to Club Penguin Island, or does the notion of a mobile game designed to suck money out of parents' pockets sicken you? Hit us up on Twitter at OneRuleBeCool and let us know. If you haven't yet purchased the nearly 20-year-old RTS Starcraft, right now is a terrible time to do so. Blizzard has announced that the original game is now free. This isn't the first time that they've done this sort of thing. The Lost Vikings and Rock'n'Roll Racing, a couple of other classic Blizzard games, are available for free through Battle.net. This is coming hot on the heels of the announcement of Starcraft Remastered, which offers a fresh coat of paint for the beloved sci-fi RTS. Now, the remastered version will be completely compatible with the original, so you can load up your old saves, enjoy multiplayer, and more, so no matter what version you're playing, you'll be able to dig into the rich trove of StarCraft mods and other user-generated content. Now, StarCraft Remastered is not going to be free, so if you want to get your StarCraft fix on, but you also want to pay for the game, this is how you do it. From the news that seemed inevitable department, controller manufacturer Mad Catz has filed for bankruptcy. The company's directors and officials all quit on March 30th. PricewaterhouseCoopers is the trustee of the company's estate now. This is coming after their delisting from the New York Stock Exchange last week. Things haven't been looking quite so good for Mad Catz lately. Rock Band 4, a game that they were banking big on selling accessories for, didn't quite perform as well as they'd bet on. Chances are your memories of Mad Catz accessories are set somewhere in those Halcyon PS2 days. Your player 2 probably got the cheapo third-party Mad Catz controller. Maybe you took turns with the good controller. Or perhaps you owned one of their racing wheels, which, from what I've heard, weren't so terrible. As of late, Mad Catz has been focusing on arcade-style fighting gamepads and gaming mice, the Rats line, as it has been known, which apparently is not quite so awful. Do you have any fond memories of Mad Catz? Are you happy to finally see this sick kitten put down? Hit us up on Twitter at OneRuleBeCool and let us know. In somewhat happier news, LiquidSky has just launched their open beta. We reported on the service a couple months back. The skinny of it is that they are a cloud gaming service, sort of like OnLive. The difference with LiquidSky, however, is that you can use their service to play games that you already own, but might not be able to run on your hardware. So, can they run Crysis? Yes, and at 1080-60. Further, LiquidSky allows users to earn credits for use with the service by watching advertisements. Because it's an open beta now, you can go to liquidsky.tv to check it out and sign up. If you pay for one of their plans, you'll get instant access, whereas if you choose to play for free, you'll be placed in a boarding group and have to wait for access. If you are a participant in the previous beta, you should know that your credits will transfer over into the new one. While I am happy for the paying users that their credits have carried over from the earlier iteration of the beta into this one, I feel their second-hand frustration at being put into boarding groups. They're stuck waiting unless they pay for access, just like everybody else. Now, I would like to give my impressions of the service, but I'm stuck in a boarding group myself, and frankly, getting into LiquidSky isn't really a priority, unless, of course, it's something you'd like to see. In which case, hit us up on Twitter. Thus far, I've only been served 2 different ads on LiquidSky, one for a diamond company and the other for HP's Spectre X360 laptop. I'm really not sure what sort of ads would be effective on this sort of platform because chances are, if you need it, you might be a broke kid with no money for a computer that can actually run games properly. Why would you be the target market for a high-end laptop? That's money you don't have. Sure, it might be what you want, but chances are, it's not what your parents are going to get you anytime soon. Are you excited by the notion of a cloud gaming service that offers its services for free? Are you wondering about how well it would actually work in practice? Are you already using LiquidSky, and if so, what do you think about it? Hit us up on Twitter at OneRuleBeCool and share your thoughts. Bungie's MMOE FPS Destiny is finally getting a sequel. I confess I never played the original, but I might be in for the second game since it's coming to PC. The rumors, it turned out, were true. Destiny 2 will also be hitting the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One when it releases on September 8, 2017. In the reveal trailer, listen as Captain Mal... No, wait a second. Oh, okay, just listen as Nathan Fillion almost doesn't inspire these people.
You look to me in times of peril, but this is not my battle alone.
Which means if I don't see you out there, I'll kill you myself.
It is time to avenge this injustice, for that is the duty of all guardians.
Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
So I ask you, who will stand with me?
Yeah! Really, guys?
That was inspiring.
Also, there will be a ton of loot!
While the system requirements for Destiny 2 have not yet been revealed, it is known that you'll need 68 gigabytes of hard drive space for the game. That's nothing to sneeze at if you have a finite amount of data coming down from the web. Personally, I'm hoping that the physical edition of the game isn't just a 600 kilobyte web client burned to a CD for the sake of the people with throttled bandwidth, because that sort of nonsense has been trendy lately. That said, it would not surprise me if Activision pulled that.
Hello all, thank you for coming to this very important informational meeting. First I have to ask, any feds here?
In game releases this week, Thimbleweed Park has finally been released. The game was a big hit on Kickstarter, and it's come out to generally positive reviews. Thimbleweed Park is an adventure in the style of old, zany LucasArts games. It's a true spiritual successor to such things as Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island. The reason for this is because Ron Gilbert and Zach McCracken, who were responsible for those games way back in the day, are taking the lead on Thimbleweed Park. Much of the critical praise that the game has received has been for its comedy, characters, and puzzles. However, it's also been criticized for some questionable pacing and relying a little bit too much on references. It is also worth noting that this is a game really aimed to fill the largely unfulfilled niche of strange adventure games that's been so long neglected in today's market. Chances are you're going to get the most out of Thimbleweed Park if you were into the LucasArts games back in the day. However, you might enjoy it if you're looking for something with a wacky sense of humor. Now, regarding the game's premise, you start off playing as a couple of federal agents going to the titular Thimbleweed Park in order to investigate a murder. However, things quickly go awry. As you advance through the game, you get to play as different characters in town. You help each other out to solve puzzles and reach your goals. Thimbleweed Park is currently available for Mac, Windows, and Linux.
This can't be.
I thought the playable characters couldn't die in adventure games.
The long-awaited Rain World has finally been released. After years in development, it's getting sort of mixed reception. The game's premise is that you play as a creature called a slugcat, which must survive a harsh post-apocalyptic environment full of dangerous predators. It's a survival platformer in which you have to use stealth and cleverness in order to avoid being killed and to explore more of the world. The game's biggest issues, from what I've been hearing, are its unforgiving difficulty in conjunction with awkward controls. It's not that Rain World is just a hard game, it's that it can be hard to the point of unfair because of its controls, along with systems in place that roll back player progress should the player die. Consequential death is something that I think more video games should have. The problem is, it doesn't work out so well for Rain World. When you die, areas that you could otherwise have explored are gated off until you earn back karma in the game. This is counterintuitive, and it seems to discourage the very sort of play that Rain World supposedly touts. It's led to painful loops that have gotten many players stuck due to the compounded difficulty ruining their progress. A pity. The game does have its good points. The atmosphere and overall aesthetic are quite strong, and the animation of the world's creatures is beautiful, fluid, and alien. I haven't played Rain World. It's a game that I had been meaning to try, but after hearing about its issues, I'm probably gonna have to put it on the back burner. I love the concept of a punishingly hard platformer in which you're slinky as a mink, but the control issues sound like they'd really wreck a lot of the fun for me. Rain World is available for Windows and PS4. The Great Whale Road left early access on Steam this week, and it's worth checking out if you're looking for an RPG with a historical slant. I've had the opportunity to play it, and while I'm still working my way through it and forming my thoughts, I've a bit to talk about it. In The Great Whale Road, you get to play as the leader of a Viking clan. Yes, if you're wondering, there is some turn-based combat set on grids, sort of like in the Banner Saga, but generally set on smaller grids. Now, the bulk of the game is about the decisions you make in order to keep your clan and village in good running order. For instance, how many people will you allocate to work on the farms? How many will work on training warriors or producing luxury goods to trade for silver? During the winter, things may go wrong. If your cows get sick, do you try and give them herb water to make them better, or butcher them to stop the illness from spreading to the rest of your livestock and enjoy a feast? In many ways, the Great Whale Road feels like the Oregon Trail with a Nordic slant, as you'll spend a lot of your time in a boat trying to maintain the health and morale of the heroic units that accompany you on your trade journeys across the sea. Different quests are available depending on which of these heroes you bring along with you on your summer excursions. Overall, I've been enjoying my time with the Great Whale Road, but it's not without some issues. The user interface does feel a little bit busy sometimes. On occasion, units will not respond when I click on them, and they have to be clicked on multiple times. What is that? My biggest issue is with the tutorials, which are more of the tell, don't show variety. That's bad. Instead of guiding players through a tutorial that explains the game's systems through usage, players are presented with a forgettable procession of pages that describe the game's systems and UI elements with a level of detail that's neither helpful nor memorable. Do I recommend picking up the Great Whale Road in its current state? Well, that's a big fat maybe. I don't really dislike the game right now. I haven't yet gotten to the whaling, but I want to play more of it before coming to a final verdict. That said, the reception on Steam has been mostly positive, so the game certainly does have its fans. The Great Whale Road is available for Mac, Windows, and Linux. If you want a new game but you're broke, good news. Fallout Shelter is now available on Steam for Windows. I can't shake the feeling that I'm too young to be familiar with the games that served as its predecessor, but if you have some familiarity with the base building elements of the XCOM series, just imagine that, but expanded, set in the Fallout universe, with a hint of Virtual Pet Simulator and a little bit of The Sims thrown in. Basically, you're put in charge of a vault of people, and it's your job to convince people to live in your vault, to manage them and their jobs, to make sure that they're happy, and to fend off attacks. Besides being available on Windows, the game has also been available on iOS and Android for quite some time. Now, this is a game that I played on mobile a while back, and I enjoyed creating and populating my post-apocalyptic settlement until a team of Deathclaws showed up and wrecked everything. After that day, I never played again. If you're prepared for that level of heartache, go ahead and check it out. It's a free-to-play game that's not exploitative or unfair, which I really appreciate.
Congratulations, friend. You will have total authority to create the perfect underground community.
We don't have a final trailer this week. Instead, we would like to take a moment to remember Mr. Paul Pepera. Mr. Pepera co-founded System Era, the studio working on the upcoming Astroneer. He passed away on March 27, 2017. Back when I wrote for Black Man and Robin, I interviewed Mr. Pepera at PAX East 2016. Though our meeting was brief, it was clear to me that he was dedicated to his craft as an artist. We offer our condolences to his friends, family, and coworkers.